Hey everybody, Sean here from VidGamiac.com. Welcome back to another episode of VidGamiac vs. Import. We are back in MajiTen, continuing our first year of marriage. So hit that X button to get to fast forwarding. There is one miscellaneous achievement that will take place in this video, and I'll point that out when it comes up. Just keep fast forwarding until that happens. In the meantime, you will get an achievement for getting through your first week and your first month of marriage. So that's two achievements to look forward to before we actually have to do any work. So if you don't remember, we are sticking to all top choices whenever we have a choice to make. And other than that, we are just going to focus on getting through the first year. Alright, after the first month or so, you are going to be introduced to this menu. This menu is going to be your date selection. So you'll notice all these locales with numbers next to them. That number is going to equal price of what the date costs. For some reason, it costs money to go somewhere free like the park, but you have a finite amount of money to spend on a date. However, there is an achievement for going on specific seasonal dates. You could pop the achievement if you go to either the beach, skiing, or to the hot springs. Unfortunately, the beach only appears during summer months, and the hot springs and skiing only appear during winter months. So the plan is to save as much money as possible until you get to those seasons. So just go somewhere cheap like the arcade or the park, which only costs like $2 or $3 grand. And that way, when you do get to those seasonal events, you'll have a ton of cash to blow on that, and you'll get the achievement and you'll knock it out of the way. Alright, now that we are in December, we should get the opportunity of finding one of those seasonal dates. So it's going to pop up right about here. So as you can see, winter is probably the best time to get this knocked out because you have two options, the skiing and the hot springs. Skiing is going to cost 30 grand, hot springs will cost 35 grand. Whatever you can afford, just spend the money on it and you'll get that achievement done once you come back from the date. So just keep picking the first choices and get through it just like any other date or the entire game for that matter. And once you get back, you should be on your way to the seasonal date achievement for 100 gamer score. That's going to be our first miscellaneous achievement that we get out of the way. Another thing that starts happening during your first year is this minigame segment. So once you get a picture of the girl's face, all you have to do is just bring the cursor over to her lips, hit A. You're essentially trying to kiss her, essentially. Once you kiss her once, just hit the Y button, which will wrap up the cutscene. So that's how those scenes work. After that, you should get some LP, which is your love points. Now, the goal for the game is to build up to 450 love points. That's going to take about 3 to 4 years, depending on your luck/choices and how it goes with the girl, essentially. But that is the name of the game and what we are going to pretty much do for the rest of the playthrough. So just fast forward, get through dates, always pick the first choice, build up your LP. That's the name of the game. And with August rolling around, we should be on our way to our 1-year anniversary achievement. That's going to wrap it up for part 1. Don't forget to check back soon for part 2, where we will be covering the 2nd year and trying to get more achievements. But that's going to be it for this part. And that's all there is to it.